What if the only thing standing between the life you have and the life you want is the way you think? Not your circumstances, not your past, not your mistakes, just your thoughts. That quiet voice in your head that speaks when no one else is around, that's what's shaping everything. Most people never question it. They just live with it. But what if that voice has been lying to you? What if it's been repeating stories that aren't true, stories that limit you, trap you, and hold you back from the life you were meant to live? Every day, your mind filters your experience. It decides what to focus on, what to ignore, what to believe, and what to fear. But here's the truth most people never hear. Your thoughts are not facts. They are choices. And once you learn to choose differently, everything changes. This isn't about pretending life is perfect. It's not about ignoring pain or forcing a fake smile. It's about understanding that how you think about your life is how you experience it. If you believe you're stuck, you'll stay stuck. But if you believe change is possible, even in the smallest way, then you've already taken your first step toward freedom. Think about it. How many opportunities have passed you by because of fear? How many dreams have you buried because you believed you weren't good enough, smart enough, strong enough? Those weren't truths. They were thoughts, and every thought becomes a path. Positive thinking doesn't mean you never struggle. It means you stop being your own worst enemy. It means you start planting seeds of belief instead of doubt, of hope instead of despair. It's a shift, a small one, but small shifts create massive change over time. Because thoughts lead to feelings, feelings lead to actions, and actions shape your entire life. You might be in a place right now where nothing feels okay, where it feels like the weight is too heavy, the pain too loud. But that's exactly where positive thinking matters most. When everything around you says give up, your thoughts can say, not yet. When the world is dark, your thoughts can be the light. This is your power. It doesn't come from your bank account, your job, your status, or your past. It comes from the one thing no one can take from you, your ability to choose what you think, what you believe, and who you become. Stay with this. Don't walk away from the edge of change. You're not just watching a video. You're standing at a crossroads. One road is familiar, but it keeps you stuck. The other is unknown, but it's where your future lives. Choose to keep going. Choose to keep listening. Because the moment you shift your mind is the moment your life begins to change. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. Your next chapter doesn't start with a miracle. It starts with a thought. One thought that says, there is more for me. The moment you decide to think differently, even just for a second, is the moment you plant a new seed. Your mind is a garden, and every thought you allow in is either nourishing you or draining you. Most people don't realize they're walking around with thoughts that poison their potential. They water fear. They nurture self-doubt. And then they wonder why nothing grows. But you can change what you plant. You can choose new thoughts, even if they feel unfamiliar. You can start to grow something stronger, something braver, something brighter right now from exactly where you are. Your mind will resist at first. That's normal. Negative thinking has roots, deep ones. It's been fed for years by pain, by failure, by rejection. But just because something is familiar doesn't mean it's true. And it certainly doesn't mean it's helping you. You don't have to accept every thought that shows up. You don't have to listen to the voice that says you can't. That voice isn't you. It's just an echo of who you used to be. You're not broken, you're not behind, you're becoming, you're growing. And growth always starts in the dark, under the surface, where no one sees the work being done. You don't need to wait until you feel ready. You don't need all the answers. You just need to plant one positive thought and protect it. Speak life into it. Give it attention. That's how change begins, quietly, powerfully, and it spreads. One good thought leads to another. One belief creates momentum. Soon, your mind isn't a battlefield anymore. It's a place of peace. It doesn't mean you'll never struggle. It means you'll have the strength to face the struggle without crumbling. Because you've trained yourself to look for light, even when it's hard to see. What you feed grows. Feed hope. Feed courage. Feed the vision of the person you want to become. That version of you is already inside, buried under years of conditioning, fear, and noise. Positive thinking isn't about escaping reality. It's about facing it with a stronger mindset. It's about building resilience from the inside out. Every time you catch a negative thought and replace it with something better, you're rewriting your story. thought by thought, choice by choice, day by day. It doesn't have to be loud. It just has to be consistent. This is your moment to choose what kind of garden you want your life to become. Will it be overgrown with regret and fear, or will it be full of faith, purpose, and clarity? The world around you might not change overnight, but the world within you can begin to shift in an instant. That's where your real power is. That's where change becomes permanent. Start with one small thought. I am in control of what grows in me. Say it, believe it, repeat it, because what you plant today shapes who you become tomorrow. Keep planting, keep rising, keep going. Your brain is always changing. Right now, as you listen, it's rewiring itself. Every thought you think, every word you speak, every emotion you allow creates connections, paths, habits. And the more often you repeat them, the stronger they become. That's how patterns are born, not from fate, not from luck, from repetition, from focus. So ask yourself, what are you repeating? Are you reinforcing strength or surrender? Are you building belief or doubt? The mind doesn't care what you feed it. It just multiplies what you give. Feed it negativity, it will grow. Feed it power, it will rise. This is why so many people stay stuck. Not because they lack potential, but because their minds are running programs they never question. Silent scripts saying you can't, you're not enough, it won't work. These scripts feel like truth, but they're just old thoughts, practiced for too long. Your job now is to interrupt them, to stop letting fear dictate the story. You can rewire your brain for confidence, for purpose, for peace. But you have to decide. You have to take back control of what runs through your mind every day. It starts with awareness. Begin to notice the words you say to yourself. Are they building you or breaking you? If you caught someone speaking to a child the way you speak to yourself, would it feel right? Would it feel kind? You were never meant to be at war with your own mind. You were meant to lead it, to train it, to use it as a tool, not a weapon. And that happens through practice, through choosing new thoughts, even when the old ones scream louder. The science is clear. The brain changes with repetition. Positive thinking practiced daily doesn't just lift your mood, it rewires your internal system. It strengthens the pathways of optimism, motivation, and courage. It makes it easier to bounce back, to keep going, to rise after the fall. This is not wishful thinking. This is transformation, real, measurable, permanent. But only if you commit, only if you decide you're done living at the mercy of a negative mind. You are not your past. You are not your pain. You are not the mistakes or the labels or the doubts that once defined you. You are something far more powerful, a creator, a shaper, a builder of mental worlds. Every thought is a brick. Every belief is a wall or a doorway. You can build a prison or you can build a future. The choice has always been yours, and now you see it clearly. So choose wisely. Choose with strength. Start replacing the patterns that keep you small. Speak truth into the parts of yourself that have forgotten their worth. And never stop repeating the new path. Every repetition makes it real. Every thought is a step, and every step is leading you somewhere greater. Keep thinking forward. Keep building strength, or keep becoming who you are meant to be. You don't need perfect conditions to create a better life. You need a better mindset. Waiting for the right time is just another form of fear. The right time is the moment you decide that how things are no longer define how things will be. Positive thinking isn't about ignoring problems. It's about approaching them with strength instead of surrender. It's choosing to believe that even if today is hard, you still have power over how you respond. That's what separates people who move forward from those who stay stuck, the belief that they're not powerless. Life will always throw challenges. That's not a maybe, that's a guarantee. But how you face them is what changes your story. When your mind is filled with negative beliefs, every challenge feels like a wall. When your mind is rooted in positive thinking, those same challenges become stepping stones. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what can this teach me? That shift isn't just about feeling better. It's about becoming better, stronger, wiser, more in control of your life, no matter the outside circumstances. Your mindset is your anchor. When everything else feels unstable, it holds you steady. That's why your thoughts matter so much. That's why protecting your mind is not a luxury. It's survival. You wouldn't feed your body poison and expect to stay healthy. So why feed your mind thoughts that drain your energy, destroy your confidence, and distort your reality? The way you speak to yourself becomes your environment, your mental home. And if you wouldn't want to live in a place filled with chaos and fear, then don't allow your thoughts to live there either. You get to decide the tone of your inner voice. Or it can be cruel, or it can be kind. It can tear you down, or it can lift you up. You may not control what the world says to you, but you always control what you say to you. That's where your true freedom lives. In the choice to show yourself compassion even when you feel broken. In the courage to speak belief into your life even when no one else does. That's not ego, that's healing. That's growth, that's power. The world changes when you do, not the other way around. You're not here to wait for life to give you permission. You're here to take ownership of your mind and build a life from the inside out. It starts with a single decision, to stop being your own enemy and start becoming your greatest ally. Let that decision echo through your thoughts. Let it shape the way you show up every single day, because every thought is energy. And the energy you carry becomes the life you create. Feed it with faith, fill it with vision, and keep walking forward, one thought at a time, into the life that's already waiting for you to believe it's possible. The life you dream of is not waiting somewhere far away. It begins inside the thoughts you choose today. You don't have to see the entire path to move forward. You just have to believe there's something ahead worth walking toward. That belief begins with your mindset. When your thinking changes, your energy shifts. When your energy shifts, your actions follow. And when your actions change, your entire life starts to move in a new direction. It all begins in the invisible space between what happens to you and how you choose to see it. You are not your setbacks. You are not the opinion of others. You are not the failure that tried to break you. You are the one who still chooses to rise again and again. You are the strength behind the struggle. You are the decision to keep going when everything says stop. And that power lives in your thoughts. You don't need anyone's permission to believe in yourself. You don't need approval to think in a way that empowers you. All you need is a reason. And your reason is simple, because your life depends on it. Every thought you entertain either builds your future or buries it. If your thoughts are filled with excuses, your life will be too. If your thoughts are filled with fear, your choices will shrink. But if your thoughts are grounded in growth, your future becomes limitless. That's not a fantasy. That's how the brain works. It reflects what you repeat. And when you consistently repeat thoughts of strength, possibility, and purpose, you begin to reprogram the way you show up in the world. Most people let their minds run on autopilot. They live reactively. They let old wounds write new chapters. But you are not most people. You are awake now, aware. You can feel the shift inside you even if it's small. That spark of awareness is the beginning of everything. The moment you realize your thoughts are not just passing clouds but powerful tools, that's when everything begins to transform. You don't need to think perfectly. You just need to think intentionally, over and over, until the new becomes normal. No more feeding the voice that says you're stuck. No more giving power to thoughts that shrink your spirit. You are not here to play small. You are here to expand, to break limits that once felt permanent, to become the version of yourself that doesn't just survive, but thrives. That version of you already exists in your mind. You just have to build a bridge to reach it. And that bridge is made of thoughts, of faith, of choices, one step at a time. Your thoughts are not just noise, they are commands. They are blueprints. They are the beginning of everything you'll ever build. Choose them with care, speak them with courage, carry them with purpose, because your life will always follow the direction of your strongest thoughts, and you are the one holding the wheel. You were never meant to live a life controlled by fear, self-doubt, and hesitation. Those feelings may have been familiar. They may have followed you for years. But they are not your truth. They are the residue of past pain, not the definition of who you are. You are more than your worst moments. You are more than the thoughts that try to convince you to settle. Deep within you, there is a voice that still believes. a quiet strength that whispers, "I'm not finished yet." That voice is your power. And now is the time to listen. The way you think shapes the way you feel. And the way you feel drives every decision you make. If your thoughts are rooted in fear, every step will feel heavy. Every risk will seem too big. Every opportunity will look like a trap. But if your thoughts are rooted in hope, in purpose, in the belief that you are growing, then every step becomes progress, even the hard ones, even the ones that scare you. That's the shift that changes everything. Not just feeling better, but thinking better, and from that, living better. You're not chasing some perfect version of life. You're building a powerful version of you. One who chooses how to respond. One who owns their thoughts instead of being owned by them. One who wakes up and reminds themselves that peace is a decision, not a destination. That joy is created, not given. That meaning is something you build one moment, one thought, one choice at a time. The world outside won't always make it easy. But that's why your inner world must become unshakable. Don't wait for the noise to stop before you claim your peace. Don't wait for life to slow down before you create clarity. The power is not out there. It's not in what happens to you. It's in what you decide it means. Your thoughts are the first line of defense. When they are strong, you become strong. When they are aligned with your values, your purpose becomes clear. When they are filled with self-compassion, your mistakes no longer define you. They refine you. You're not too late. You're not too broken. You haven't missed your chance. The fact that you're here now, listening, searching, feeling something stir inside you, that is proof you're still becoming. That is proof that the journey is still unfolding. Let that fuel you. Let that drive you forward. There is more for you, more strength, more clarity, more peace, but you have to claim it from within. No one can do it for you. Change begins the moment you take responsibility for your thoughts, not blame, responsibility. The moment you say, "I can't control everything, but I can control what I focus on. I can control what I build in my mind," that's when life shifts. That's when power returns. You are not powerless. You are just one thought away from transformation. Keep choosing the thoughts that lead you home to your truest self. The most powerful change you will ever make is the decision to think differently about yourself. Not because someone told you to. Not because you're trying to impress the world. But because deep down, you're done living in the shadow of doubt. You're ready to stop shrinking. You're ready to stop carrying the weight of old beliefs that were never yours to begin with. You are ready to rise. And that rise begins not in your circumstances, but in your thinking. In the moment you look in the mirror, not with judgment, but with intention, and choose to become your own source of belief. You do not need permission to think like someone who matters. You already do. You've always mattered. But when your thoughts have been trained by fear, by failure, by years of holding back, it takes conscious effort to break that cycle. This is the inner work most avoid because it's quiet. It's not flashy. It's done alone. But it's the kind of work that builds unshakable peace, because once you control your thoughts, no one else can control you. Once you stop chasing approval and start creating certainty from within, you step into a life that reflects who you truly are. Positive thinking is not about denying difficulty. It's about refusing to surrender your power to it. It's the mindset that says, "This may be hard, but I'm harder to break." It's the thought that says, "I've made it through before, and I will again." It's not a fantasy. It's a choice. And the more often you choose it, the stronger it gets. Like training a muscle, your mind adapts. It starts to default to belief instead of doubt, to peace instead of panic, to strength instead of fear. When you commit to feeding your mind with the thoughts that empower you, you stop reacting to life and start creating it. You show up differently. You speak differently. You walk into rooms not wondering if you're enough, but knowing you belong. That shift changes everything. You begin to attract better, not because the world changed, but because you did. You stopped begging for scraps of confidence and started building it from within. One intentional thought at a time. The thoughts you repeat become your identity, not overnight, but with time, with consistency, with belief. So speak to yourself as if your future is listening, because it is. Talk to yourself like someone who deserves peace, because you do. And when fear tries to creep in, when the voice of doubt grows loud, remind yourself, This is not who I am anymore. I'm not here to live small. I'm not here to shrink to fit the expectations of others. I'm here to expand, to evolve, to think higher and rise further. Every time you choose a positive thought, you cast a vote for the life you want to live. And with enough votes, that life becomes real. Not by chance, by choice. And today, you're making that choice again. Stronger, louder, clearer. You don't have to be fearless to move forward. You just have to stop letting fear make your decisions. Fear will speak loudly, but your belief must speak louder. Every time you choose a positive thought in the face of doubt, you weaken the grip fear has on your future. Every time you tell yourself, I can, even when it shakes inside your chest, you build something powerful, resilience. You are not fragile. You are not broken. You are someone learning to step into your power, thought by thought, breath by breath, choice by choice. Most people look at their past and use it as proof of limitation. They say, I've failed before, so I probably will again. But positive thinking flips that. It says, I've survived before, I've learned, I've grown. And that makes me stronger now. You don't rise by forgetting your past. You rise by changing how you see it. Your past isn't your prison. It's your proof that you can make it through anything. And the mindset you build now is what shapes what comes next. Not luck, not circumstances, not someone else. Just you, choosing your thoughts with purpose. The mind will always search for patterns. It looks for evidence to support what you believe. If you believe life is against you, your mind will find proof. But if you believe life is teaching you, strengthening you, preparing you, it will find proof of that too. That's why the thoughts you repeat matter so much. Because they don't just reflect your reality, they create it. If you want to change what you experience, change what you expect. Expect growth, expect healing, expect better. Then live like it's already unfolding. You won't always feel confident. That's okay. Confidence isn't the absence of doubt. It's the decision to keep showing up anyway. It's the inner voice that says, even if I stumble, I still move. That's what makes positive thinking so powerful. It's not just a good feeling, it's fuel. It's the force that helps you act in alignment with who you want to be, even when the world tries to shake that foundation. And the more you act with courage, the more that courage becomes who you are. Don't wait to feel ready. Don't wait for permission. Choose thoughts that energize your next step. Choose thoughts that carry you forward when your legs feel heavy. The brain learns through repetition, not perfection. So even if your mind wavers, even if doubt creeps in, keep returning to the thought that you are becoming. You are changing, you are capable, you are worthy. Speak it, feel it, live it. This is your turning point. Not because everything has changed on the outside, but because you're no longer feeding the old story. You're writing a new one, a story shaped by strength, by vision, by self-belief. It starts and ends in your mind, and you, right now, are in full control. Keep choosing the thoughts that build the life you're meant to live. That's how transformation begins. From within, one powerful thought at a time. You don't need everything to be perfect to begin. You only need a decision to shift your focus, to stop feeding the thoughts that weaken you and start choosing the ones that lift you. Every great change begins with that single moment of clarity. When you realize your thoughts are not just reflections of life, they are the architects of it. You are not simply observing your reality. You are shaping it with every belief you allow to live in your mind. Let that sink in. Because the future you want will rise from the mindset you build right now. There is strength in you that hasn't been fully tapped yet. Not because it doesn't exist, but because your thoughts have been standing in the way. The beliefs you've inherited, the ones repeated by your past or your environment, they don't define you. You define you. And every time you replace a limiting thought with a powerful one, you chip away at the wall between who you are and who you're meant to be. It doesn't take massive action all at once. It takes consistent intention. One thought, then another. Until your mind starts to believe what your heart has always known, you are enough. The thoughts you repeat daily are more than mental habits. They're emotional triggers. They ignite how you feel, how you act, how you engage with life. When your inner dialogue is filled with criticism, life feels heavier. But when your thoughts are rooted in kindness, in strength, in belief, life begins to open up. It becomes lighter, more possible. That shift is not magic, it's not luck, it's the result of conscious repetition. You've been conditioned to think a certain way. Now you are reconditioning yourself to think in alignment with your highest self. No one is born thinking they are powerless. That was learned. But anything learned can be unlearned. That's what makes this moment so important. Because right now you are choosing to step out of the old mental patterns. You are choosing to think thoughts that serve your purpose, not the fear, not the past, not the voice that tells you you're not ready. You are choosing to become deliberate, focused, strong. And with each thought, that identity becomes real. You don't need external validation to make this real. You don't need someone else to tell you your thinking is powerful. You already feel the shift. You feel the difference when you stop saying I can't and start saying I will. That's not just a word swap. That's a signal to your mind, your body, your entire system that you are rising, that you are no longer a passive observer of life, but an active creator of it. This is not about positive thinking for the sake of feeling good. This is about reclaiming your inner authority. It's about choosing thoughts that align with your growth, your courage, your peace. And it's about doing it again and again until it becomes who you are. This is your mental revolution, and it begins now. There is a quiet power that comes from taking full ownership of your thoughts. When you stop blaming circumstances, other people, or your past for the way you feel, you reclaim control. Control is the foundation of freedom. Without it, you are trapped in a cycle where your emotions are dictated by forces outside yourself. But when you decide that your mind is your responsibility, you unlock a strength that no external event can take away. This is the core of transformation, understanding that the inner landscape of your mind shapes the entire experience of your life. It's easy to think that changing your thoughts is simple, yet the reality is it requires courage. Courage to face the uncomfortable, the familiar patterns of negativity that have kept you safe in their own way. You must be willing to feel the discomfort of rewiring your mind, the resistance that tries to pull you back. But know this, every discomfort you face on this path is a sign of growth. It's your mind shedding old limitations, clearing space for new possibilities. The pain of change is temporary. The rewards, freedom, peace, and purpose are permanent. Positive thinking is not just about surface-level optimism. It is a profound act of self-respect. When you choose to feed your mind with thoughts of hope and possibility, you are telling yourself that you deserve a better life. You are affirming that your dreams, your goals, and your happiness matter. This is not self-indulgence. It is essential self-care. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Your mental energy fuels everything you do. Protect it. Nourish it. Treat your mind as the most valuable asset you own. The world around you will always reflect your inner beliefs. When you think you are worthy, you begin to act worthy. When you believe you are capable, you start making decisions that support that belief. This ripple effect touches every part of your life, your relationships, your career, your health, your sense of joy. You are designing your future right now, not by chance, but by choice. And the tools are in your hands, the thoughts you decide to nurture and repeat. It's normal to struggle with old habits of thought. The mind defaults to what it knows because it's easier. But you are not bound by your defaults. You have the power to create new mental pathways. It starts with awareness, recognizing when your thoughts pull you into fear, doubt, or negativity. Then, with intention, you shift. Replace the limiting thought with one that empowers you. Repeat it. Live it. Make it your truth. Over time, this rewiring becomes automatic, and your life will begin to reflect this inner strength. Remember, this is a journey without shortcuts. Each positive thought is a brick in the foundation of your new life. It may not be visible at first, but it is building something unshakable inside you. Keep choosing those thoughts even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Your future self is already waiting, stronger and freer, because you decided today to think in a way that honors your potential. This is the power of positive thinking. It's the power to change your life by changing your mind. The mind is a powerful instrument, but it will only work for you if you take control of its direction. Left unchecked, it will wander toward fear, doubt, and negativity, dragging your emotions down and limiting your potential. But when you consciously guide your thoughts toward strength, hope, and possibility, you create an unbreakable foundation for success and happiness. This is not wishful thinking. It is the deliberate act of choosing what fuels your inner world. The thoughts you allow to take root will determine the quality of your life, the energy you bring to each day, and the courage you summon when challenges arise. Your brain is wired to seek safety, often defaulting to familiar patterns that feel comfortable, even if those patterns hold you back. Recognizing this is crucial, because it means every negative thought you experience is part of a habit, not a fixed reality. You have the power to interrupt those habits. Every time you notice a thought that diminishes your confidence or sows doubt, you can consciously replace it with one that builds you up. It takes practice, patience, and persistence, but the payoff is profound. A mind that supports your dreams instead of sabotaging them. Positive thinking rewires your brain by changing how you interpret experiences. Instead of seeing obstacles as roadblocks, you begin to see them as challenges to overcome, lessons to learn, and opportunities to grow. This shift in perception isn't superficial optimism. It's a fundamental reorientation that aligns your mindset with resilience. Resilience is not about avoiding difficulty. It's about meeting life head-on with the belief that you have the strength to navigate whatever comes your way. And that belief starts inside, with the thoughts you cultivate. The emotions you experience are closely linked to your thoughts. Negative thoughts trigger stress, anxiety, and fear. Positive thoughts create calm, confidence, and hope. You cannot control every situation, but you can control the way your mind responds. That control is freedom. It allows you to face uncertainty with courage rather than being paralyzed by it. When you choose thoughts that empower you, you reclaim your personal power and open the door to transformation. Transformation is a process, not a moment. It unfolds with every thought you choose to reinforce your worth, your strength, and your ability to create a positive future. It asks for daily commitment, a willingness to catch yourself when your mind slips into old patterns, and the courage to pivot back toward growth. This is not about perfection, but progress. Even on the days when doubt creeps in, your commitment to positive thinking ensures you don't stay stuck there. Your mind is the battlefield where your future is won or lost. Choosing positive, empowering thoughts is not just a mental exercise. It is an act of self-love and self-defense. It protects you from the chaos of negativity and anchors you in a space of hope and possibility. When you master this, you transform not only your internal world, but also the reality that surrounds you. This is the power you hold, the power to create a positive life by thinking positive thoughts. Keep choosing wisely. Keep building that foundation. Your life depends on it. Your thoughts are not just fleeting moments. They are the seeds from which your entire life grows. When you consistently nurture positive, empowering thoughts, you water those seeds with belief, hope, and strength. Over time, they sprout into actions, habits, and realities that support your greatest aspirations. The opposite is true as well. When you feed your mind with doubt, fear, and negativity, you cultivate barriers that block your progress. This is why the mind must be treated with care. It deserves your attention and your conscious effort, because the way you think shapes not just your emotions, but the trajectory of your entire life. It's important to understand that your brain is plastic, meaning it has the capacity to change and adapt throughout your life. This is not an abstract concept, it's a powerful truth. Your thoughts physically alter the structure of your brain. The more you repeat a thought, the stronger its neural pathway becomes. This explains why old limiting beliefs feel so ingrained they have been practiced over and over. But the good news is that new positive thoughts can create new pathways just as well. This means you can reshape your mindset by intentionally focusing on thoughts that empower you, thoughts that align with the life you want to create. When you begin to shift your thinking, you also shift your energy. Positive thoughts bring clarity, confidence, and motivation. They act as a compass, guiding your choices and actions toward growth and fulfillment. Negative thoughts drain your energy, cloud your vision, and anchor you in fear. Your mind is like a garden. If you allow weeds to take over, your beautiful flowers won't have room to grow. But when you tend to the garden with intention, removing weeds, planting seeds, and nourishing growth, you create an environment where life can flourish. This garden is your mind. You are its caretaker. This process demands awareness and honesty. You must learn to recognize when your thoughts are not serving you. The mind will often default to negativity because it believes it is protecting you. But this protection is false security. It keeps you stuck in patterns that prevent you from experiencing joy and success. When you catch yourself in a negative thought, pause. Question it. Replace it with a thought that empowers rather than limits. This simple practice, repeated daily, rewires your brain to serve your highest good. Positive thinking is not about denying reality or pretending that challenges don't exist. It's about choosing a perspective that allows you to face those challenges with resilience and hope. It's about believing in your capacity to grow, to adapt, and to thrive despite difficulties. This belief fuels your actions and creates momentum toward a life filled with purpose and joy. The moment you embrace this mindset, you step into a new reality, one where you are no longer a victim of circumstances, but the architect of your destiny. Keep nurturing these thoughts and watch how your life transforms from the inside out. The true power of your thoughts lies in their ability to shape your identity. Every belief you hold about yourself becomes a lens through which you view the world. If you carry thoughts of limitation, you unconsciously close doors before even trying to walk through them. But when you choose thoughts that affirm your worth and your potential, you open those doors wide. This shift changes everything. You begin to act not from fear, but from confidence. You start to see possibilities instead of obstacles. Your actions become aligned with your deepest desires because your mind now supports your growth rather than resisting it. Changing your thoughts is not a one-time event. It is a daily commitment. Your brain is constantly scanning for information that confirms your existing beliefs. This is why negative thinking can feel so automatic and unshakable. But by making the choice to feed your mind with positive, empowering thoughts, you interrupt that cycle. You rewrite the script your mind has been following. This is the difference between living life passively and living it with intention. When you live intentionally, you become the author of your own story. You are no longer at the mercy of circumstances or the voice of doubt inside your head. Instead, you wield the power to create a reality that reflects your true potential. It's important to recognize that your thoughts influence not only your mindset, but also your emotions and behavior. Negative thoughts trigger fear, anxiety, and hesitation. Positive thoughts cultivate courage, calm, and determination. Your emotions are signals, guiding you toward what your mind believes to be true. When you consciously choose positive thoughts, you are essentially reprogramming these emotional responses. This means you will face challenges with a new level of resilience. You will find solutions where before you saw only problems. You will hold on to hope even when the path seems unclear. The process of shifting your thinking also strengthens your ability to focus. A mind cluttered with doubt and negativity struggles to concentrate on goals and dreams. But a mind filled with positive, purposeful thoughts naturally narrows its focus on what matters most. This clarity propels you forward. It fuels persistence and helps you stay grounded when distractions and setbacks arise. Your energy becomes more directed and your confidence grows. You begin to trust in your ability to handle whatever life brings, knowing your mindset is your strongest ally. Positive thinking is not a superficial or temporary fix. It is the foundation for a transformed life. It anchors you in a mindset that refuses to be defeated by circumstance or fear. This mindset opens doors to opportunities, fuels meaningful action, and nurtures an unshakable belief in your potential. By choosing your thoughts deliberately, you choose your future. You become unstoppable. This is the power that lies within you right now, waiting to be claimed with every positive thought you choose to embrace and live by. Your environment plays a silent yet powerful role in shaping your thoughts and ultimately your life. The people you surround yourself with, the media you consume, and even the spaces you inhabit send constant signals to your mind, signals that influence how you think, feel, and act. If your environment is filled with negativity, doubt, or toxicity, it becomes an uphill battle to maintain a positive mindset. Conversely, an environment that nurtures encouragement, inspiration, and growth acts like fertile soil for your positive thoughts to take root and flourish. This is why choosing your surroundings with intention is not a luxury, but a necessity for anyone committed to transformation. Your mind is highly sensitive to subtle cues. It picks up on tones of voice, body language, and even unspoken attitudes. When you immerse yourself in environments where positivity, hope, and determination thrive, your brain naturally aligns with those energies. This alignment reinforces your own positive thinking patterns and makes them easier to sustain. On the other hand, prolonged exposure to negativity or pessimism triggers stress responses, saps your energy, and strengthens limiting beliefs. Your brain adapts to what it consistently experiences, so the environment you create or allow around you becomes a powerful partner or adversary in your journey toward a positive life. Understanding this influence is empowering because it means you can take control over more than just your thoughts. You can shape the very context that supports those thoughts. This begins with awareness, recognizing which elements of your environment uplift you and which ones pull you down. It means making conscious choices about who you spend time with, what you read or watch, and how you arrange your physical space. These choices are acts of self-respect and self-care, investments in your mental and emotional well-being. The positive ripple effect of such choices goes beyond mood. It transforms your mindset and, by extension, your actions and outcomes. Creating a positive environment is a form of armor against life's inevitable challenges. When external circumstances threaten to overwhelm you, having a supportive environment acts as a buffer. It reminds you of your strength, renews your hope, and keeps your focus sharp. The energy you absorb from your surroundings directly impacts your resilience. When you consistently feed your mind with positivity through your environment, your brain strengthens the neural pathways that support hope, courage, and perseverance. This neural reinforcement makes it easier to sustain positive thinking, even in the face of adversity. Remember, your environment also influences the stories you tell yourself. Positive environments encourage narratives of possibility and growth, while negative ones often fuel doubt and fear. Changing your environment is not about avoiding reality. It's about choosing to surround yourself with influences that reflect the reality you want to create. This deliberate choice nurtures your mindset, aligns your emotions, and energizes your actions. It propels you forward in a way that is natural, sustained, and deeply empowering. Your environment is your ally. Choose it wisely, nurture it carefully, and watch how it transforms your mind and your life. Every thought you cultivate shapes your reality, but it is your daily habits that cement those thoughts into lasting transformation. Habits are the invisible architecture of your life, built one thought, one choice, one action at a time. When your habits align with positive thinking, they create a powerful momentum that propels you forward without resistance. This momentum becomes your foundation, supporting resilience when challenges arise and fueling your progress toward a life defined by purpose and fulfillment. The secret is simple yet profound, consistent, small actions rooted in positive intention reshape your mind and your future. Your brain thrives on repetition. The more you repeat a behavior, the more automatic it becomes. This is why habits are so influential. They are the repeated expressions of your thoughts and beliefs. If your habits are grounded in doubt, procrastination, or fear, those patterns reinforce limiting thoughts. But when you intentionally build habits that nurture hope, gratitude, and growth, you rewire your brain to prioritize positivity. Every morning you start with a thought of possibility. Every decision to persevere deepens your courage, and every act of self-care strengthens your belief in yourself. These small, deliberate choices compound, creating a life experience that mirrors your highest vision. The power of habits lies not just in their consistency, but also in their ability to influence your emotional state. Positive habits, like mindful breathing, journaling your achievements, or pausing to appreciate your progress, shift your internal landscape. They build emotional resilience by activating the parts of your brain associated with reward and calm. This emotional foundation makes it easier to face uncertainty with confidence and to recover quickly from setbacks. Over time, these habits cultivate a mental environment where positive thinking is the default, not the exception. It's also essential to remember that habits require nurturing. Just as a seedling needs water and sunlight, your positive habits need attention and care. This means showing up for yourself, even when motivation wanes or obstacles appear. It means recognizing that setbacks are not failures, but opportunities to recommit. The moment you pause to refocus on your positive habits, you reinforce the neural pathways that support growth and resilience. This ongoing practice creates a feedback loop. Your habits build positive thinking, and positive thinking strengthens your habits. Together, they form an unbreakable cycle of transformation. As these habits take root, you will notice a shift in how you respond to life's challenges. Instead of reacting with doubt or defeat, you begin to respond with clarity and action. Your mind no longer wanders into negative spirals, but instead returns to constructive, empowering thoughts. This shift transforms your entire experience of life. It gives you the power to influence your future rather than be controlled by your past. Your habits become the bridge between the person you are today and the person you are becoming. They are the living proof that positive thinking, when acted upon consistently, creates a positive life. Embrace this power. Build your habits with intention. Let them guide you toward a future filled with hope, strength, and endless possibility. Every moment you spend doubting your worth or fearing failure steals energy from the life you were meant to live. The mind, when left unchecked, can become a battlefield of conflicting thoughts, dragging you down into cycles of worry and hesitation. But imagine redirecting that energy, channeling it toward belief, courage, and determination. The transformation begins the moment you decide to no longer accept negativity as your default state. This decision is more than a choice. It is an act of rebellion against the limitations imposed by fear and uncertainty. It is the first step in reclaiming your power to create a life that reflects your true potential. Your brain craves certainty, even if it is rooted in fear. It prefers the familiar patterns of negative thinking because they feel safe, predictable. But safety at the cost of growth is a prison, and every time you choose positive thinking, you chip away at those bars. You create new neural pathways that lead to freedom, pathways built on hope, resilience, and the belief that you are capable of more. The more you walk these paths, the easier it becomes to leave behind old doubts. Positive thinking is not denial of reality. It is the courageous act of focusing on what is possible instead of what is limiting. It is a lens that reveals opportunities hidden behind obstacles. This shift in perspective has profound effects on your emotional landscape. When your mind leans into positivity, it releases chemicals that boost mood, motivation, and clarity. You become more creative, more focused, and more willing to take the risks necessary for growth. Fear begins to lose its grip because your brain no longer treats it as the dominant signal. Instead, hope and confidence take center stage. This is not just a mental exercise. It is a biochemical transformation that changes how you experience life from the inside out. The more you nurture positive thoughts, the more your body and mind align in support of your highest goals. It's crucial to recognize that this process requires active participation. Positive thinking is not passive waiting for things to improve. It is an active, deliberate choice to challenge negative thoughts the moment they arise and replace them with empowering alternatives. This requires awareness, a skill that can be developed through practice. Each time you catch a negative thought and consciously shift it, you strengthen your mental muscles. You become more adept at steering your mind toward hope, even when circumstances seem bleak. This daily discipline builds resilience, making you less vulnerable to setbacks and more capable of sustaining progress. The journey to a positive life is not a straight path. There will be moments of struggle and doubt, but these are not signs of failure. They are opportunities to deepen your commitment. Every time you return to positive thinking, you reinforce your power over your own mind. This power is the foundation of lasting transformation. It enables you to face life's challenges with courage and to build a future defined by growth, purpose, and joy. Your mind is your most valuable asset. Protect it, nurture it, and watch how it changes everything. The choice to think positively is the most profound investment you will ever make. Choose it now and embrace the life you deserve.